Welcome back to my Budgeting 101 series. In the previous episode, we covered the basics of budgeting and how to get started. You can find the link for that one here. Today, we're taking a deeper dive into the fundamentals of budgeting, expense tracking. Okay, ready? Let's get into it. The first step to creating a budget is to track your expenses. This is important because it helps identify spending habits and sets a benchmark of what your expenses look like on a monthly basis. What you will need to do is check your account statements and note down all of your previous expenses. I suggest doing this for at least the past 3 months. Using this spending history, you can then set out to determine realistic budgeting amounts for each category. Now, there are various methods for tracking expenses, and it's important to find what works best for you. Some people prefer the simplicity of pen and paper, jotting down every expense as they go. Others might opt for spreadsheets, where they can categorize expenses and analyze their spending patterns. And of course, there are plenty of budgeting apps available, offering features like automatic expense categorization and real-time tracking. Whichever method you choose, the key is consistency. Make it a habit to record your expenses regularly, whether it's weekly, fortnightly, or monthly. Let's create a sample spreadsheet to help you visualize what I'm talking about. First, I'll create headers for the columns, where each column is a different month. Next, I'll create headers for the rows, where each row is an expense category. Yours might look slightly different to this, but these are the most common expense categories. Okay, so now we need to enter in the data. Let's say I went through my transactions for January and we had $2,200 in rent. Groceries were $600, $200 for utilities, a cheeky $75 on a dinner date with the fiancé, and finally, $15 for that Netflix subscription. Now, we need to repeat this process for each month. Let me skip forward and I'll show you what that could look like. Okay, there we go. Now you have a good overview of the spending habits, month to month. As you can see, I also put the average amounts down the bottom and the sides. These are the average amounts for each category, and these are the total average expenses for each month. Now, if you primarily use cash for your purchases, tracking expenses can be a bit trickier. One approach is to keep a dedicated envelope or jar for cash receipts, where you can store and later record your expenses. Alternatively, consider using a budgeting app that allows you to manually input cash transactions. Tracking your expenses offers numerous benefits beyond just budgeting. It helps you identify spending leaks and areas where you can cut back. It also provides valuable insights into your spending habits, allowing you to make more informed financial decisions. I remember when I first started tracking my expenses, I was shocked to see how much I was spending on dining out each month. By simply being aware of my spending habits, I was able to adjust my budget and allocate those funds towards more meaningful financial goals. Once you've got all your expenses tracked, you will have a good idea of what you spend month to month on each category. This will be important information we will use for our budget later on in the series. And that about wraps it up for expense tracking. See? It wasn't all that difficult. Next, we'll focus on the process of setting clear financial goals and priorities. These are incredibly important because it's what keeps you motivated. If you found this helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. I aim to upload a new video every week covering various money-related topics. And if there is any specific topic you want me to cover, simply drop me a comment below. See you next time.